Hi, guys. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jackie, and I am a spiritual teacher and healer. And I help people untangle their self worth from trauma, relationships, and performance so that they can come back home to who they really are. So, a little while ago, I shared a short video on the 6 stages of healing. And the response I got there was really incredible. Like, so many people said that it gave words to what you were actually feeling and it helped you see your growth in a new light. So, I wanted to expand on it and create this longer video for you, something that you can return to whenever you feel lost or stuck. Because the truth is that healing isn't linear. It is layered and messy, and it often feels like you're taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. So you might revisit the same wounds in new ways or wonder if you're doing something wrong when all of the old patterns resurface. But I want to do this video to reassure you that you're not broken, you're just moving through the process. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 different stages of healing, and I'll break down what all of them actually look like, why we often get stuck in looping, and how to recognize where you are, right? The more you understand the path, the more compassion and clarity you'll have to keep moving forward without feeling like the need to rush or fix or force, which is really important in our healing. So let's start with stage one. Stage one is what I like to call survival and numbness. And honestly, I think this is where a lot of people are, even when they think that they're okay, right? Like in this stage, you're not thriving, you're just getting through the day one day at a time, right? You say, like, I'm fine, but what you really mean is, I don't have the space or the capacity to fall apart right now. Sometimes in this stage, you are actually still in the middle of it. So maybe you're in a relationship or an environment that makes you shrink. Other times, the trauma is over, but your body hasn't caught up yet, right? You're safe, you're physically safe, but you're still bracing and flinching and waiting for the next thing to go wrong or for the next shoe to drop. This was me after my marriage, like, and I started dating again. If somebody didn't, for example, text me back right away, I would go into a spiral. And it wasn't necessarily because of them. It was because my body was stuck in a state where I was remembering somatically what it was like to be left and ignored and abandoned. Or I would be in a space that felt totally fine on the outside, but inside, I was flat. I was numb and I was disconnected. Like it was kind of like I was watching my life instead of actually living it. And I think that is what survival mode does. It shuts down the parts of us that feel too much. And sometimes that numbness feels like peace, but it's not. It's your system protecting you, right? Honestly, your system is doing its job. That's what it's hardwired to do. But just because you're not in crisis, it doesn't mean you're healed. Like, numbness isn't the end, it's just the beginning. So if this is where you are, you're not doing anything wrong, you're simply surviving, and that's what matters. Stage two is what I call disruption and awareness. And honestly, this one feels like a gut punch. It's the moment where the numbness starts to wear off and you suddenly start to feel again. But it's not in like a peaceful kind of way. It's more like the floodgates open and everything that you have been holding down starts to rush in. So sometimes it happens really slowly. Like, say you notice that you're snapping at people or you're crying more than usual. Other times it will hit you like a wall. Like, why do I keep ending up in the same type of relationship? How have I never seen this before? I don't even know who I am without this pattern. So your patterns start to become really clear. For me, this stage felt like I was coming out of the fog like an illusion or something, and just realizing how much I have ignored, how much I was in denial, and I ignored the reality of the situation I was in. And it was incredibly uncomfortable. Like I started to question absolutely everything, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. So this is the moment where things start to click, but it also feels chaotic because now you are aware of the pain and the patterns, the self-abandonment, and you don't actually know what to do with it yet. And that's okay. The stage isn't actually about fixing anything. It's just about noticing, like letting the truths rise to the surface, even if they're messy. Because before you can heal it, you have to see it. We can't heal what we don't acknowledge, right? Stage 3 is looping and belief unraveling. And this one will really mess with your head. This is the part of healing where you feel like you're doing everything right, and yet you keep ending up back in the same pattern. So you notice the old stories playing on repeat, that I'm not enough, that I have to earn love, that something is wrong with me. Like, you know, the stories aren't true. You've journaled, you've talked about it in therapy. Maybe you even had moments of like real clarity and healing, but then someone cancels a plan or doesn't text you back or criticizes you. And then it's like, boom, you're right back into that place. It feels like a loop. Like, didn't I already work through this? Like, why am I going through this again? But this is what I want you to know. You're actually not going backwards. You're going deeper. These beliefs were formed to protect you. Like, they helped you make sense of pain and chaos or abandonment, whatever the wound is underneath it all, when you were younger, when you didn't have the ability to cognitively process it in a logical way, right? But now that you're older, your system is unlearning all of those patterns. So that doesn't happen all at once. Unraveling these beliefs is like peeling off layers. Some of them will fall away easily. Other ones will like grip tight and show up again and again and again, asking to be seen with a little bit more compassion. And I'm going to be honest, this stage is exhausting because if you don't understand it, if you don't understand what you're doing and what's happening, it can feel like you're failing, but you're actually not. You're actually like in it. Like, this is the deep work. This is what most people don't get to, right? They experience the looping, and instead of facing it, the discomfort of it, they think they're failing and they fall back into old patterns. So if you're looping, be gentle with yourself. You're not stuck. You're just like right in the middle of it all. Stage 4 is grief and release. This is the stage that most people avoid because the grief hurts, right? It's not just sadness. It's anger, it's despair, it's relief, it's confusion, and sometimes there's even moments of unexpected peace. So it's the moment where you experience deep ache for what you lost. Safety. You didn't have the safety in your childhood. You're angry with your parents. The stories you were told about love and relationships and how they set you up for failure, right? Like, all of these, you start to see how all of these beliefs that you've been carrying were so misinformed and so misguided, but imposed on you that you really didn't even have a chance. And so then you experience those moments of sadness and anger and despair, right? For so long, you've pushed away those feelings, like you've shoved them down or you shove them aside. You try to stay busy so you don't feel them. So this stage calls you to stop running from those feelings and to start sitting with them and listening to them and feeling them, all of the pain that you've avoided for years. So maybe you cry for hours over the childhood that you never had. Maybe you get angry about all the times you had to be strong when you just wanted to scream, right? Maybe you feel relief that you're finally letting it out, even though it scares you. It's messy and it's confusing. It's everything you didn't want to look at coming to the surface. But this is also release. This is allowing, and this is essential because your body and your soul can't fully heal until the grief moves through you, not around you. So if you're in this stage right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're unsure, I want you to know that you actually are braver than you think. You are doing the hard part that most people avoid. So give yourself a lot of credit for that. And this is where the real freedom begins. Stage 5 is integration and nervous system repair. So this is where healing actually starts to settle and become a part of your everyday life. You begin to notice the little things. Maybe you wake up without that tight knot in your chest. Maybe you're able to sit through a tough conversation without feeling like your heart is racing or your stomach is flipping. You might even catch yourself laughing or relaxing without the old tension pulling you away, right? So instead of reacting automatically, like snapping at someone or shutting down, you're able to pause, you're able to take a breath, you're able to choose how you respond instead of being hijacked by your fear or by your old patterns. You start using tools that can help calm your nervous system. So whether that's deep breathing when anxiety arises, stretching or gentle movement when you feel stuck or stagnant, or grounding yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed. So this stage is not perfect and it doesn't happen overnight, but it's about rewiring your body's default from survival mode into safety mode, little by little, day by day. The stage takes a lot of conscious work. But the best part is you are no longer defined by your trauma. You're defined by your resilience, right? By all the times that you show up, that you felt the hard stuff, and you chose to keep going. Finally, stage 6, this is appreciation and expansion. And this is where healing moves beyond survival into something bigger. This stage is about recognizing the lessons and growth that come from your challenges and beginning to weave those into your story. So it's about expanding your sense of self to include your wounds and your wisdom, not as contradictions, but as part of the same whole. But here's the catch. This stage often brings its own kind of resistance. Like it can feel scary to lean into the positive lessons, like you're betraying the pain or the trauma itself. Sometimes holding tightly to the hurt feels safer because it's familiar and certain, right? Letting go means stepping into unknown territory, into a new identity that might feel fragile or even overwhelming. The resistance you feel about this stage is your trauma still holding on, right? It's true appreciation here isn't about ignoring the pain or pretending that everything was fine. It's about integrating the entirety of your story, right? The hard parts along with the growth. It's about allowing yourself to expand beyond the old narratives that once defined you. So this stage isn't a finish line or a perfect place. It's just an ongoing unfolding, like a dance between honoring where you've been and stepping into who you're becoming. So if you find yourself resisting the idea of appreciation and expansion, that is totally okay. It means healing is still in motion, and that motion is exactly what's supposed to be. Why do we get stuck in looping? Because healing is hard. It's not because you're doing anything wrong, but it's because it actually asks you to sit with things most of us naturally want to run from, right? Our discomfort, vulnerability, and uncertainty. It is scary to face grief. So sometimes we push it away or we distract ourselves. We want to feel better right now, so we rush through, different phases, or we pretend that we're done before we really are. But our nervous system it knows the truth, right? It's wired to keep us safe. So it will resist change, pulling us back into familiar survival patterns, even if they don't resonate anymore, right? So that's why you might find yourself feeling stuck. Like if you're walking the same ground over and over again. But here's the thing, looping isn't failure. It's your system's way of trying to keep up with big shifts that need time. And knowing these stages is so powerful because it helps you see where you're at without judgment, so you can stop beating yourself up for feeling stuck or feeling confused or not being far along enough, right? Instead, you can choose practices that support where you are right now, right? Whether that's resting in survival or sitting with grief or rewiring your nervous system. Healing is not a race. It's about honoring your own unique rhythm and trusting that every single step, even the messy ones, are a part of your path forward. So, did this video resonate with you? I would love to hear where you're at on your journey. You can drop a comment below to let me know. I have found that so many people get stuck in looping because healing gets focused on just one part, usually the mind, and the body and soul get left out. So, my approach and the work I do is different because I believe it needs to happen in your whole self, your mind, your body, and your soul working together. And if you want to go deeper into that, I have a free webinar called Why Healing Feels Stuck. You're more than welcome to watch that. It's all about breaking free from those loops and working with your entire being. Not quick fixes, but like real embodied healing. If you want something simple to start with right now, you can grab my free embodiment guidebook. It's full of tools to help you connect with your body and calm your nervous system every day. And just remember, healing is a journey. You don't have to do it alone. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I really hope this was helpful for you. And if it was, make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss what's coming next. And as always, drop a comment or a DM if you want to share where you're at or if you have any questions. I'm here to support you. I will see you guys next time.